in our community and just lifting up everything that is important in our community. And today, a couple of days ago, we're in March, and this is Women's History Month.
Mhm.
And you just made history.
I did, so they say. So
Yes,
they
you
say.
did. You are now the chairwoman of the Miami-Dade Beacon Council. That organization. I'm going to let you explain what the Beacon Council do, even though I'm on the board. Um, Yolanda is the first Black woman to chair the Beacon Council that's been around for quite a while, and they're pretty much an economic engine
Right.
to Miami-Dade County.
Right.
You want to talk about that a little bit before we go into Yolanda?
Well, certainly, thank you for allowing me to be here, Eric.
Absolutely.
This is quite a pleasure. The Beacon Council is the economic development arm, if you will, for Miami-Dade County, creating a public private opportunity for us to help make sure that Miami-Dade is on the right track in terms of economic development. Last year, we had a record number of projects, we call them, where we help uh, companies not only come to Miami-Dade County,
Right.
but to sustain them, to help them to staff up. Um, and so that's mainly what we do.
Right. And they do that by basically going around the world. It's throughout the United States, obviously through our state, bringing
Yes.
businesses to Miami-Dade County, and going. I know there's been jaunts to Spain, South America,
Yes.
and there are many countries and
Israel.
companies. Israel. There are many companies in these other countries that have been looking at Miami, and the Beacon Council is that arm that makes sure that we extend our arms to
Right.
bring them here.
Yeah, a lot of our projects have been international projects, but I'm very pleased to have been a part of the relocation or establishment of Kroger is one of
Oh,
our
wow.
projects
Okay.
where they are now delivering groceries to your home. If you're an
Okay.
Instacart person like I am, I've kind of switched to
I
Kroger.
haven't quite got to that yet.
Listen, it works. And then we had a huge announcement, the largest announcement with a tech company expanding here. We did that with Merkava, bringing 3,400 jobs. That's what we're doing. We're bringing opportunity. And one of the things that I have looked at as chair of Beacon is to make sure that we hit 3 points. And that is that we show the community what the value is. What's the value proposition of dealing with Beacon? We help to make things easier as you try to scale up
Right.
and expand. And then certainly we want to continue our sustainability. That is to help sustain companies who are here but want to scale up. And then, of course, what's really important to me is inclusion. That is that we are working on economic development from county line to county line, whether it
Right.
be Homestead or Miami Gardens. Our first annual meeting was in Miami Gardens at Florida Memorial. I'm
Right.
very proud of that.
Right. And the one thing that you said is important is helping the local businesses grow. So
Yes,
it's not just looking at businesses or trying to relocate, but you are also assisting businesses in scaling.
yes, yes. We have a very viable small business program, not doing the direct services, but building on the other services that groups like the Miami-Dade Chamber, MD, a lot of companies, a lot of organizations are dealing with small businesses. So we want to make sure that we're the glue to let everyone know that economic opportunity is available for all.
And obviously, we are the Miami-Dade Chamber, focusing
Yes.
on Black business. And I
Right.
know that the Beacon Council has made a stride to ensure that our Black businesses here in Miami-Dade County, we've heard that less than 2% of
Mhm.
Black businesses receive opportunities to do business with the county,
Right.
and less than 2% with Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Right.
And I know there was a disparity study that was
Yes.
done with Miami-Dade County Public Schools,
Right.
and that has changed the needle
Right.
because those numbers have now begun to tick up.
Right.
And we are in the process of doing that through the county.
Right.
Um, Unfortunately, I would say we as a Black community know that there is a disparity, but
Mhm.
because of the legalities of that,
Mhm.
the study has to be done.
Right.
So, what is the Beacon Council doing in terms of focusing on Black business?
Well, very interesting. We have on our trade and logistics side, been working with companies like Amazon. We have the Trade and Logistics Committee has adopted Opalaka as a way to connect those businesses around Opalaka that deal in trade and logistics to bring that full circle. We are making sure that we participate in some of the plans that the mayor has. She announced her Future Ready plan. We are 100% behind that. We're working with her on the technology piece. She's created a tech authority, and we've done that. And we brought probably one of the most talented individuals that we've seen in a very long time to Miami-Dade County in Rod Miller, who's our new CEO, who happens to be also African American.
So, Beacon Council is definitely at the forefront. And, we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
That has been the buzzword for the last few years.
Yes.
Obviously, we have all seen the onion peeled back with the murder of George Floyd, with the pandemic, where Black communities have been suffering. And then now, finally, the rest of the
Right.
world have
Right.
seen that. So here we are. And it's great that the Beacon Council is taking that leadership to ensure that there is a level playing field, at
Right.
least working towards that.
Right. Right.
The other thing, you do so much.
Mhm.
You're engaged with so many different avenues just here, not just here in Miami-Dade County,
Mm.
as a lobbyist.
Right.
That is pretty much what your professional career has been based on. I know you are a shareholder at Becker and Polikoff,
Mhm.
um, doing, like I said, outstanding, many great things.
Mhm.
Tell us, what does it mean to be a lobbyist?
What does it mean to be a lobbyist?
Yeah,
You're a paid advocate.
you're paid.
Uh, it's something that I've stumbled across. My friends started running for office after I decided to come back to Miami-Dade County. I came back as a litigator. I wanted to be a commercial litigator. I didn't want to do criminal. I didn't want to do child support. Those were areas that the only place that I knew Black lawyers practice.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do commercial litigation. Took a job at Florida's oldest law firm. I won't mention the name, I guess,
Oh,
and did that for a little while. But then my friends started running for office. You may remember Beryl Roberts Burke. We were
okay.
church members, sorority sisters. Kendrick Meek asked Al Dotson and I to do a voter registration drive. Adora had these young people that had energy, and she
Dora
put the three of
Nuizi.
us. She
Yeah.
put the three of us
Wow.
together, and we did a voter registration drive for 1 year.
Okay.
And after that, people said, "Well, uh, Kendrick then ran for office. Can you set up a meeting with this person?" I knew Barbara Carey Shula. She tells me that her sister dated my dad at Pam. I don't know if that's true. Uh, and people who were in elected office, Carrie Meek, people who I'd known my entire life, Bill Turner, and
Wow.
ironically, Kendrick ended up running for Bill Turner for state senate, and I was his campaign manager. I was Kendrick's campaign manager,
Wow.
and the rest is history.
Right.
And then I got more and more um, requests to help people navigate government just by the relationships that I had. And I heard of an opportunity at Becker
Hmm.
that they were expanding their lobbying practice in Tallahassee, and joined Bernie Friedman, and he and I have, over this last 24 years, created a
Wow.
lobbying practice of state, local, and federal. We have a DC office as well.
Right. And you kind of, not that you brushed over it, but you are very important when it comes to, like you said, advocacy.
Yes,
Um, I know that you've brought many dollars to our community through your
yes,
advocacy. Talk
yes.
about that a little bit.
So one of the things that I really, really enjoy doing is teaching people how to fish.
Okay.
Not to eat fish, but teach them how to fish. In other words, teach our community how to advocate on behalf of ourselves. So I'm involved nationally with Delta Sigma Theta, of which I have been a member for a number of years, and also the Links,
Okay.
operating at the national level, helping those organizations to advocate on behalf of themselves. Um, I have brought money to the community, but the community has brought money to itself.
Right.
Uh, the Children's Initiative, I'm very, very proud of the work that Miami Children's Initiative is doing and what Graylin and other folks are doing over town. We now are in Tampa, Orlando, Paramore Kids Zone. And this is a program started by uh, former representative, now school board member Dorothy Bendross-Mendengal, joined with former Commissioner Audrey Ebenson, and I and Marco Rubio went up to Harlem,
Okay.
and we visited the Harlem Children's Zone and came back with this idea when Marco Rubio was speaker, and that was fueled at about 3.6 million. Well, just last year we finally got recurring appropriations for that statewide initiative. Latasha Daniels running the Miami Children's Initiative,
Right.
$4.2 million that will continue throughout those communities, and we're expanding, hoping to open more initiatives throughout the state. So that's just one. And then historically Black colleges is always going to be my passion. We now get about $30 million in recurring funds for scholarships at those schools.
Wow. I was on the board of the Children's Initiative when it first started,
Yes,
representing the Dolphins organization. I used to
yes,
work for
yes.
them. Um, but the one thing you said is getting out the vote.
Mm,
And I'm gonna swing a little different
okay.
in this direction. And we talk about DEI,
Hmm.
and we talk about some things happening in this state
Right,
right
right,
now. And I've had conversations of folks, we can't really get mad. We got to be upset about what's going on, but we can't get mad if we didn't get out and vote.
mm.
So can you put that correlation together for me?
Well, certainly we have to get out and exercise our right to vote. Everybody pays attention to the numbers. Make no mistake about it. Everybody pays attention to the numbers. So it's important that we go out and vote in every election, just so that people know that you're out there, that the group that you represent um, is represented. I happen to know who my state rep is, who my state senator is, who my member of Congress, and every time that I see them, I remind them that I live in their district.
Right.
And I think that's what we have to do. We have to stay engaged. There's no reason why we cannot be engaged. The Florida Channel broadcasts every meeting now in the legislative process. The county commission. There's no reason for us not to get engaged and to not only vote but hold the people that we vote for accountable. And even if you didn't vote for them, to hold them accountable as representing all the people. And we have to do that continuously.
Exactly. And I'm glad you bring up that point because, there's one thing for someone to be in office that we didn't vote for, but there are those that we did vote for.
Right.
And going back to that whole point of keeping them accountable. And I find, and a lot of people say that a lot of individuals, they get into politics, they
Mhm.
get elected, but they forget
Right.
and they think it's about them
Right.
instead of about the people.
Yeah.
And really, it's about the people who voted you in because of the promises that you made. But a lot of times they get lost in the euphoria of being elected, I guess I would say. You want to say that,
Yeah,
talk
and
about that?
you have to stay engaged. And I can tell you, as a paid advocate, that uh, elected officials much prefer to hear from their constituents than me.
Okay.
And so you have to remember that people uh, decide to run for office mainly because they want to make a difference. Everybody generally starts out for a
Correct.
point of purity where they really, really want to represent their constituents. But the constituents have a job to do too. If you see something that you don't
Keep them
like,
accountable.
keep them accountable. Everybody's on social media now. Keep them accountable, not in a mean
No.
spiritedness, but let them know what's going on in your community. And we don't do a good
We
enough job of that.
we do need to do a better job.
Yes.
With the little bit of time we have left, it just goes by so fast. Obviously, the chamber's been around since 1974, and obviously, the chamber.
Uh,
What would you say is something that you would say that we as a chamber to help our community should do better?
Stay informed, stay engaged, get to Tallahassee,
Heading up there in a few
heading up there,
weeks.
because the demographics of the state is changing. For the first time in a very long time, we have one Black senator per county in the Tri-County area.
Okay.
Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach each only have one Black senator.
Wow.
They can't take care of all of the needs of the Black community. Senator Jones in Dade County needs your help.
Right.
He is doing an amazing
job.
job.
An amazing
But,
job.
He needs to know what the needs of the chamber are. There are bills that are going to be filed, that have been filed, that deal with diversity, equity, and inclusion. The chamber needs to be looking at those bills and giving Senator Jones and Representative Gant and Representative Benjamin and Senator Rodriguez, who chairs the delegation, to give them insight on how it affects them.
As I said, this time just goes by so fast. I just want to thank you. And we got to bring you back on because you have just so much depth and wealth of knowledge about our state and our community. So I just want to thank you. This has been Yolanda Cash Jackson with Becker and Polikoff, and just an amazing, the first Black chairwoman of the Beacon Council. Yolanda, thank you. This has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. If you want to get in touch with the chamber, go to m-dcc.org or call 305-751-8648. Today, I stand before you, a proud graduate of Miami-Dade College and the 5th president of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. I'm honored to return to the college that prepared me to become a leader in our community, providing an education second to none. So I'm asking you to please tune in every Monday at 12 noon to the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce's Member Connection, as I interview members of the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce on our Facebook page at Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce or our YouTube channel, Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce. To learn more about the Chamber, please go to m-dcc.org or call the Chamber at 305-751-8648.